Hey everybody, it's Charlie and Alyssa here from Daily Motor, and this weekend we're heading out on a ride that I've been looking forward to for a good amount of time here on this 2023 BMW K1600 Grand America. Now the whole idea behind this bike is to be as comfortable as possible putting on big miles, and that's what we're about to do today. We're gonna go capture some fall colors. Doesn't look very fall-y here out in Orange County, but we're gonna head a little bit to the east and a little bit up into the mountains to Big Bear Lake, and this should be a good accompaniment to that. So Alyssa's all geared up. She's got her Helite backpack on, her H-Move. We got 3 liters of water back there, so she's ready to go. And in fact, for those of you who might have seen the video on it, I'm not sure when it'll come out, before or after, but this is how the Helite looks without any sort of the actual backpack on. So it's just the water bladder and then this outside cover. But if she turns around here real quick, we'll fire her up. And then she's got the airbag protection ready to go. And if she wanted, she could also put her phone right in here if she were interested in that. But probably tucked away in a pocket. Yep. So we're going to spend about a few hours riding out and a few hours riding back. And we'll kind of talk a little bit more in the end about what the experience is like. But just a little brief overview on some of the things that make riding out there on the K1600 so comfortable, because we kind of got a sneak peek already a few weekends ago when we rode out to see the partial solar eclipse on this. Some of the things that make life really nice. So first of all, proxy key. Right there, the key's in my pocket. Bike fires up. We get the screen coming up right here. Power adjusted windshield. Ooh. That goes up. This has got adaptive air suspension, which means if I were just riding it solo, it would adapt to my weight, keep the bike nice and level. But when Alyssa gets on, it's going to adapt for her weight as well, and both of us together, and balance the bike out properly. And depending on which ride mode I choose, we've got 3 different ride modes: rain, road, and dynamic. If I choose dynamic, it's going to give us a little bit more of a firmer ride for when we're carving through the mountain corners here in a few hours. But when we're just cruising on the highway, I'm going to have it on road, nice and comfortable. So you see this big TFT display, very easy to see. I control it right here with the left. I'm actually going to go over, bring up the menu, and then let's see if my navigation's still hooked up. I paired up my phone earlier. This is one of my few complaints about the K1600 and BMW's infotainment in general, is that the navigation isn't built in. You actually have to have a phone. Yep, see, it's inactive, which means I got to pop this open, reveal my device in here, and then it has to remain unlocked in this connection mode here. Map mode, and then I have to join up a Wi-Fi network. And now you leave the phone screen on the whole time, so that's why it's got kind of a charger built in there. Yeah, there's a thing that you gotta push open, and yeah, there you go. Just slide the phone in, that keeps it in place. So for a top tier sort of luxury motorcycle, that's my biggest complaint, is that sort of jankiness, that they haven't figured out a way to just do navigation built in, or have something like wireless CarPlay and Android Auto running. But now we've got navigation up, and I'm mostly going to just use this as a screen. You can technically pair up your phone and your comm units as well. So Alyssa and I both have comm units going. We could have it all paired up to the bike and our media would run through there and everything, but it's a bit convoluted again with the maps running, and it's not full Google Maps and everything. I don't necessarily want to use BMW's navigation for navigation. I want to use Google Maps, so I've got my watch that's going to give me some navigation instructions, as well as my other phone. But the other thing we can do is we can go home and then over here to media, and then we can actually listen to music playing through 4 speakers back there, and I believe 4 speakers up here as well. So an 8-speaker sound system that we're going to be able to cruise down and listen to as we're driving through. So that's nice. That's playing off the one phone as well.
That one or this one?
The one in there,
okay.
Not the one filming. Yep. Some other nice elements are going to be obviously this baggage, which we're not going to probably use too much, but we've got some things in there. And it's all central locking with the proxy key. So all I have to do is press this button, and then these lock. And what makes that nice is, yeah, we wouldn't be able to open that up because you typically have to press this, and then that doesn't pop open. When Alyssa and I get to Big Bear, we're going to be able to put both of our helmets, they both fit in this top compartment, and then we're going to be able to lock it and head out and not have to carry them around with us. And we've got the airbag backpack on, my airbag vest, any other things we have. Going could stick in these side cases, which are also going to easily lock. And if we pick up any little pumpkins or anything like that from out there, we'll be able to store them on the bike as well. Speaking of back here, Alyssa's got some handles, which she likes. Now, riding on there, have you been actually holding on to them? Are they comfortable to like reach down to, or are they too low?
Yeah, no,
okay.
Like I sit down and they're like right here.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, they're
okay.
right at my arm's length.
You want to hop on real quick and just kind of see what that looks like? Make sure our foot pegs are down. Now that's interesting. I didn't consider this, but how is the airbag vest with the seat, the backrest?
Actually, now that there's so much water in this, I'm very far forward.
Oh,
so I wonder
okay.
if we should empty some of it out.
TBD.
Right.
But besides that, you
I'm
can
very
see
far forward. But yeah, let me take it off and show you
what it's actually
more
usually like.
comfortable it is. Yeah, this is really comfortable. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
Sitting here, and a lot of the times I don't even need to hold on to these. It's really, I'm gonna hold on to them when we go up through the mountains and we're doing some really carving, big carving there, but it's a really comfortable seat.
Yeah, and these foot pegs are not adjustable, but at 5'2", your feet seem to be reaching okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have heated seat controls over here on the side, which are definitely nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
I didn't notice them so much when they were on the low setting, but on high, you really
definitely
notice
feel it. Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
and it warms your whole base up, so
Cool.
I actually had them off. So, yeah.
Which is good because we're going up into the mountains. It could be a little chillier. And I also have both a heated seat and heated handle grips, which are nice. Yeah, I think this thing is going to make for a good cruise. One last thing. You've got these highway foot pegs right here, so I can either have my feet resting there if we're riding more aggressively, or if we're just cruising, can put them up. And with the linked braking, I can use the hand brake, and it actually applies the foot brake as well. So even if I'm not braking with my right foot, that's still set up there. So I think we're just about ready to go here. We're going to figure out our water bladder situation and then hit the road. We made it up to Big Bear, and it was a cool drive. It's a cool drive, definitely a cool area. Such a difference from just a few hours away, really just an hour down the mountain. How colorful it is. We got the kind of the scenic mountain vibe going. All these big trees once you hit about 5,000 feet or so. The ride up here was really pretty. I mean, some of the mountain roads coming up, it's really, really impressive. And the bike was a good partner, it really is. It definitely helped turning on the heat because we didn't pack super warm. You've got a light long sleeve on under that, and I do too. But
I definitely utilized like step 2 of the seat warmer, and that was really nice.
Yeah, yep. I had mine about halfway as well, and that was coming in to be a nice benefit. Windshield as well. It is a large, heavy bike, and coming around some of those mountain corners, I can see where the appeal would be of having something like the BMW, what is it, R1250, that's a little lighter, a little more nimble, and kind of a little bit more sport bikey feeling. But when we were out on the highway slogging, it was definitely nice to just have this full, big, heavy,
highway cruiser.
Yep, absolutely. Now, while this inline-6 motor is awesome from a sporty perspective, and it's nice having all that low-down torque and all the power, I will say that I appreciate the sound of the engine less when we're just kind of trying to drive through these beautiful mountainy sort of roads and kind of just cruising about 35, 45 miles per hour. And you're just hearing the exhaust kind of just always making noise. I mean, of course you're going to hear the injectors and stuff from this inline six, but I would imagine that some of the other touring bikes are a little bit quieter. Obviously not the stuff from Harley, but I'd be curious about something like a Goldwing if the engine's going to be a little bit more muffled. And like I said, I love the sounds of this K1600, that inline six, when you're getting on it hard, when you're riding it sporty. But I did grow weary of it a little bit, just constantly listening to that kind of exhaust note on there. The storage, obviously great. Like I said before we headed out, right now Alyssa's got obviously her stuff off. We press the key, unlock, hear that click, and then
Can I do it?
you gotta pull that. Yep.
Oh, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got our two helmets in there, even with the cardos on the side. And then we've got each of our Helite backpacks, one in each of these.
Press this
Yep.
and then this.
Press that and it pops out.
Yeah.
There's the one. And then we've got the other
That's
as
a
well.
big one, too.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Definitely nice to have that storage on there. But yeah, we've got a few hours heading back. Oh, we also had the music going. That was nice.
We did. That was so fun.
But again, my complaints that I yielded at the beginning of the video, if I'm not mistaken, the phone is entirely dead now from running that navigation. So we were only on the road for like just over 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure my device in here is completely dead. And I don't know for sure if the iPhone SE has wireless charging and if this bike has a wireless charger in it, but yeah, totally dead. So no navigation for us on the way back, and no music playing out, unless I were to pair this phone up with the screen there. But I don't necessarily want to do that because I use the nav through my headsets, and it just take a lot more setup. And I remember using it with the CEO4's nav, just not very intuitive. So that's a bit frustrating.
That's not a wireless charger?
I thought it is. We'll have to check. What is this?
It kind of acts like it is.
Is that the release?
Oh, that's a plug.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a USB Type-C, isn't it?
It is.
So you're actually supposed to snake a cable, which again, annoying. Why isn't that just a wireless charger?
We don't have any cables on us, do we?
Not iPhone cables, no.
Not tight. Oh yeah, no.
Yep. So, oh well.
All right.
Just-
Well, if we had known that, we probably would have that phone.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the tech suite leaves something to be desired on here, and I didn't even use the navigation on here at all. I'm bummed that I even hooked it up because I just again went off my kind of the GPS going off my phone. So either way, small complaints for an otherwise very beautiful experience, and we're looking forward to the ride back down. All right, made it back just after sunset. Lighting on the K1600 doing well for us, and I found out that this little back trunk section lights up, which is super nifty because we had the house keys in there and a few other things, and definitely convenient to have a little light in there. So I'm tired, but it was fun, but sore.
Yeah.
And just kind of normal motorcycle sore. Alyssa and I both sort of noted both times riding this bike that while the seat is particularly comfortable, you don't move around in it in a lot of different positions, and it kind of results in soreness.
Yeah. I think that's just got to do with this type of motorcycle riding.
Yeah.
You go for long stretches of time, not really moving. And if you think about if you were to go for that same amount of time in a vehicle, enclosed vehicle, you move around a lot.
Yeah,
At
you can
least I
shuffle
do.
around,
I
reposition
shuffle
and
around
stuff.
from cheek to cheek, hip to hip, whatever. And you can't really do that on a vehicle that moves when you move.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, I thought about that as well because I've actually ridden this for about 5 or 6 hours at a time. And even though the seat is harder and thinner, you're moving around more often and sitting in a lot of different spots. And this one, you kind of just sit there in the one spot. So,
and I don't think that's anything bad to say about the seat. It's got a lot of cushion. It's pretty darn comfortable. I think that's just the nature of the beast.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a little bit of wrapping up on my own. Take the microphone out next day or two and do a little wrap up thoughts on the K1600. But definitely a cool way to go see some beautiful fall scenes.
Yeah, real nice, real pretty.
Coming out for a quick late morning commute on the K1600, about the end of our time with the bike here. And it's funny how if I've gone a few days without riding it and then I come out on this bike, I'm reminded of how smooth and I don't know if easy is the right word, but I think smooth is the best way to put it. The riding experiences for this bike. The shifting, the seating, the braking, the acceleration, everything is just so, it's such a well-oiled machine. It's the definition of that. It feels so German in how they would build a touring bike. I don't think the word easy is appropriate for the bike because it just does take a lot of paying attention and deliberacy to maneuver the bike around your garage, to get it out of your complex, to come up to stoplights, to make it through traffic situations. It doesn't have the lighthearted, carefree riding style that I do think a lot of people come to motorcycles for. Right now is a perfect example. If I were on one of my other bikes, I'd probably just zip through the middle of the lane right there, but this thing is large, and not only is it wide, but also because of the weight, I've got to negotiate it through, and if I got to go slow and kind of get around some mirrors, I'm just not going to be interested in doing that. It takes a lot of effort, and I know that might sound a bit like a first world problem, but it's something you should be aware of if you're interested in purchasing a $30,000 motorcycle. I can't draw any comparisons between this and the Honda Goldwing because I haven't ridden a Honda Goldwing. I've ridden this K1600 a few times now before this, and then obviously this time that I've had this one. I'd like to ride a Goldwing, I'm planning to, but for now this is what I have to compare to, and I've got to say BMW has done an amazing job at building what I can only assume would be their no-holds-back touring motorcycle. I do expect some changes for the upcoming model. I don't care about any more power. I don't think this bike needs any more power. It has plenty. Even with Alyssa on the back when we were flogging through the mountains the other weekend, I mean, this thing has so much. When you're down in one of the low gears, you get it up near the peak of the power band, you can lift up the front wheel, no problem. It doesn't need more power. What it needs is a better tech suite. I'd love to have built-in navigation, just having at least a basic screen on there to show me my roads and everything. I can get navigational functionality through, again, if they added Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support, even just a more comprehensive cell phone connection in general would go a long way for this bike. I'd like to see some quicker toggles for heated elements. I don't know if I want to go as far as to say unsafe, but definitely non-intuitive to have to dig through into the settings menu just to turn on your heated seat and heated grips. I like how the passengers just got a physical control. I know the handlebar area is already kind of busy with everything going on here, but I'd like to see them fit some buttons onto there for at least the heated grips, and then preferably the heated grips and heated seat. We definitely got to get wireless device charging on this bike. There's no excuse for that here in 2023. I'm sure they're just kind of waiting for it to happen because of the updates coming to the bike, but wireless device charging is a must-have. Honestly, I could take or leave the adaptive cruise control. I know they're gonna put it on because they've got it on other BMW bikes, and if why would their flagship not have it in a facelift if their other bikes have it? So I get it, it's coming, but it's certainly not something that I've yearned for having this bike for a good amount of time. Everything to do with the performance aspects of a motorcycle, BMW has nailed. The suspension is great, the powertrain is awesome, the responsiveness to the throttle, everything, the different drive modes, there's just the right amount of distinction between them that they all work well, and I'm happy with them. The braking is good. I mean, everything about riding this bike is fitting for this motorcycle. I do think it's important for you all watching, if you're maybe not familiar with these larger touring type motorcycles, you really got to be aware of the weight and how it does take away a little bit from the experience of motorcycling. admittedly, when Alyssa and I were coming back from our Lake Arrowhead and Big Bear trip, the thought crossed my mind of, why are we riding a motorcycle when we could be in something like a sporty car? I mean, you can get a Miata for the cost of this bike. It's going to take up more space in the garage, obviously, but then on the way back after our beautiful mountain drive, we would have been able to put the top up on the highway if we wanted, have it be quieter, more comfortable, climate controlled, and be getting about the same fuel economy, if not better, in the Miata. And obviously there are certain times when you can't beat having a motorcycle. I mean, this thing is awesome. I'm certainly not going to get those levels of performance or that sound or sensation out of anything under $100,000 with four wheels. But again, if you're buying a bike that's this large, you're probably doing it because you're taking passengers regularly and putting a lot of miles on the highway, and I just think it's worth considering if you really want to be committing yourself to a motorcycle like this versus what you could get on four wheels. The other thing is suspension technology has come so far and engine technology has come so far that you can get a very comfortable, both for the driver and passenger, and capable riding experience out of more adventure style motorcycles as opposed to something like this. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get maybe quite as intuitive storage options and as large, and maybe not quite as intuitive with the heated controls, and maybe not quite as much seat comfort. But if you could drop 150, 200 pounds off this thing and be on something like a large touring bike, again with decent seat and top case and side cases and everything like that, you might be just as comfortable and more capable, and it might be more fun to ride around. So I really have enjoyed my time here with the K1600 Grand America. I mean, it's been perfect for what Alyssa and I were looking for to do this sort of trip and kind of experience it on a motorcycle. And it's absolutely the bike I've been grabbing the keys for when I've got to go out and do a little bit longer distance ride like this or something. But I wouldn't say it quite captures the essence of motorcycling the way some other bikes would, and in the way that a lot of people get into motorcycling. But really an impressive exercise here from BMW, and I mean, it's a flagship for a reason. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the K1600 or any of the other bikes we review here, check the link in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, naturally aspirated inline 6 on.